Right, let's get to it, Donna. That bloody pull there. My God, you got that going. You got that going there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
You look like you could have took that home. It's like you were ready to go, right, turn this all the way in. Yeah, kept going.
Yeah, I could have quite happily gone, like I says, I could have quite happily gone again, but I had to think, it was my first time I'd done it and I didn't want to damage myself, so I had to be good.
Well, listen, I've got to applaud you. 1, for doing it, right? 2, for having the love of it, and 3, for what you're doing it for, Ethan. You know what I mean?
Oh, the next one will be for Ethan, yeah.
Well, you'll have to let me know when that happens, and I'll do
everything
I can to share it. You know what I mean? Get the word out.
Well, I did try doing some more last year, but I had some problems with the charity. They weren't getting back to me and stuff like that. So it was for a veterans charity. But if I don't know what's happening and where the money's, like, if it's genuinely going to the charity, then I'm one of them where I'll step away, because there's too many charities that make too much money for themselves these days, and I don't want to be part of that. And I don't want the money going. I want the money going to the people that I'm raising the money for. Do you know what I mean? So I stepped away, and that's why no pulls got done last year. Like I says, there's no planned dates yet. We want to get this truck show up and running, and then I want to call Ryan in and do some sort of. I will find some way of doing an event where we can either tag team or stuff like that. Where it do one with your chariot. My mum was just said said she sat next to me now. She said, "Can I do one with my chariot?" I don't think there'll be enough power in them batteries. No.
I'm quitting here. I'm getting banter from mother and daughter, and everyone's going, yes, liking this.
I'm at my mum's because she'd just come out of hospital after 11 weeks because she had a term before Christmas, so we're just getting her settled back in, and we've had quite a fun day.
How's your mum feeling? Is she okay?
She's doing well. She nearly stabbed me with a fork earlier because I tried getting a picture of her with bolognese all down her chin. She don't you dare. And I went, but you can't catch me. And then she just went like that with the fork. I went, whoa, she can reach from there on. I'll behave.
Yeah. I'm sure the throwing arm's still all right as well, Donald. So I would take care.
Yeah, well, I don't think she's got anything too heavy nearby, so I'm all right at the minute.
Oh, loving it.
She's just sat there going, I'll soon find something.
Told you, Donna. You know, you've got to think where you've got all your tenacity from.
Oh, my stubbornness as well.
Didn't want to say that, but
she just rolled her eyes at me as well. You can't roll your eyes at me, you're the mum. So,
right, so you brought up a big point there. And it'll be good to mention this before we get into what you're currently campaigning and show the video. Egos, people probably maybe going in to do the right thing for, with the right intentions, but then get caught up in the swirl of it, maybe end up pocketing money or misappropriate.
Picking up the noses.
That is a big bugbear for you, isn't it? When you see
it bugs the life out of me.
Yeah.
If the only way we are going to unite is if they leave their egos at home, quit with the grifting, right? I work for. I don't want. Well, as I've told you about that money I was handed on the first convoy, I've got £145 sat at home that people donated, and they said that to make sure it goes to the people that are doing the journey. We also said that we'd round it up to 200, right? We don't need that money that people have handed us, but I am no way going to hand it over to some jumped up little arsehole that's putting it in his back pocket and not actually handing it out. So I've said that I'll go with food, fuel or whatever to help people with that money, because that's what they asked me to do, to make sure that people on the journey got that some of that money to help them. Not for someone's back pocket to be sniffing it up the nose or drinking it down the drain. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it bugs the shit out of me. Yeah. It really does. Too many egos. They need to leave them at home. We're supposed to be uniting. The only way we're going to win is by uniting. And there's people like this that cause more division than you actually. It's like two people supporting two different football teams. They can still sit in a pub after, do you know what I mean? But when you've got this egos eating at it in the middle, we're never ever going to get anywhere.
I know. And that's the one thing that it will do the work for anyone that we're trying to actually beat. Because while we're doing that, they're getting away with a muck. They're doing all types of things.
Yeah.
If you're looking in one direction, they'll be doing something in the other direction. It's the old sleight of hand kind of routine. So you don't want to corrode yourself from the inside. You want to stay very mindful of what you want to do and the intentions behind it. This is what I was saying, that people can get involved initially for the right reasons, but then get in a group of people where they've got to be the king dick, or they don't like a certain thing. So then suddenly the direction or the intention suddenly changes. It becomes about them being on top rather. And I know people are people, but people are sick of it also when you see movement after movement just flaking away because this very thing happens. And the online fight start.
It's like when someone will use Mr. Robinson as a perfect example. Whether you like him or not, he's there doing something, right? His personal life is his personal life. Now, there's rumours going around. There's always rumours about people going around. We don't know exactly what happened. We know that there's certain money that people accuse him. But at the end of the day, he gets on that stage and he brings forward what's wrong with this country, especially about grooming gangs. But then if someone likes him and the friend finds out that they like him, well, you better not like him because otherwise I'm not going to be a friend. And I'm thinking, what playground are we in here? Why are we in this playground? I could like someone that you don't like, but we're not going to fall out over it because that's our right. I'm not going to fall out with. At the end of the day, they've not done anything to me, but they're trying to get things out there that need to get out there. And this
ideal, Donna. That's the problem here, that we all have a shared truth. But unfortunately, we bring this fickle mentality into it that if you follow him, then you must represent that. You represent that. That means we can put you there. You must be about that. And that is one of the biggest mistakes that anyone can make. Yeah. And this is why I come into it, because the very idea of anyone trying to protest about what happened at the Ariana Grande concert, the very idea, you must have been a racist, you must have been a Nazi, there's no other way. And I think that was the biggest slap to me that went, are you joking? There's real people here. No doubt there'll be a slight percentage of the very thing you're talking about, but the way you're addressing me, you're actually a slight percentage, but just on the other side.
It's even the same with these convoys. People are like, oh, well, where's our truck drivers? And like I said, I did a video explaining that we haven't got between 35 and 60,000 owner-operator drivers like Canada has. We haven't got 350,000 owner-operator drivers like America has. We can't physically do it because of the fuel strikes years ago. Can you remember what year the fuel strikes were? Because I keep trying. We was living Thorn at the time, weren't we? But when the fuel strikes happened and all the tankers and that was on strike, they actually brought a new law in, which makes it basically, if truck drivers get involved, it's a law under the Terrorism Act. So now their hands are already tied in this country. Just because there weren't trucks there didn't mean that there wasn't truckers there, and there was plenty of truckers there supporting it. It was just they was in their own vehicles, so their bosses didn't lose their operators' licenses. Because without them, we're not going to have trucks on the road, and then we won't be getting any food in the shops. You know what I mean? So their hands are tied, but it didn't mean there wasn't truckers there. But then you still got people slagging them off, and there was quite for a 4-day planned thing. There was enough there, but then obviously when they said they was going to do it again, the same as any other movement, all of a sudden this ego appeared, and I was better than him, and he was better than him, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go again. Is someone going to sort a date out so we can get it planned? And this is why I ended up going, because I obviously need so much time to take the time off work. And I just thought, no, something needs doing, because I'm not the only one that needs this time. And you're going to get more and more people if they can book the time off work than if it's at last minute. And this is where, obviously, the video come in, because it had to be done.
So let's explain a few minutes before we get to the video on what the truckers are going through in order for them to make this stance, from your perspective?
Originally, it was to stand, because obviously a lot of the mandates and stuff have gone in this country. So it was to stand in unity with Canada and other places. There was still the stuff going on with the NHS at the time, but it was that first one was mainly to stand in unity and about this new bill that's about to be passed as well.
The protest bill.
Yeah, well, this is more the reason why I did the video, is because this bill is more important than the other bits that are going on, because they've tried hiding it from us, which is annoying. It's really annoying. The last time you can respond is on the 8th, and they basically want to move the powers of the human rights courts to England, which is fair enough because we're not part of the EU anymore. It's spot on. But when you actually read, and I'm not going to go into it with detail because I'm not a lawyer and I don't want people going at me. I've read it, and believe me, what I've read, when you read between the lines, it's not good. You're basically going to have, you can have freedom of speech unless you go off the track. So people like us, they'll make an exception and come down hard on us. Tommy Robinson's been a prime example of that. Do you know what I mean? But they're going to actually, what they've done for, basically what they've been doing for years, but now it's going to be in black and white. Yeah. So police are going to get more powers to be able to kick the crap out of you. You can have your own thoughts as long as it's the way they think.
See, this is dangerous on a level for me, where if we look at the similar timelines merging, we've got all the crises of the world, everything, the money, everything's becoming harder, way of life to afford things.
Body autonomy will be going out the window.
This is it. There's multitude of reasons why people want to demonstrate, people want to protest. At the same time, this bill will curtail that. It will stop that happening. The irony is, do you know anything about the conception of this bill? Do you know why it come out?
I've read at the beginning, I read that it wasn't actually Conservative government that put it, was something the Labour put together, if I remember rightly, but it was to do with, because obviously we'd left the EU, they wanted our own Bill of Rights. But when you actually look at it, there's no Bill of Rights there. It's a bill of, they're going to take your rights whenever they think that you're not standing in line and behaving yourself. Do you know what I mean? And that is basically it. You're not going to have any freedoms because they'll take it from you for being a free thinker or a truther like we are.
Without a doubt, it's so draconian. I mean, the protest element derived from how I understand it, because Labour are staunchly against this, aren't they? Yeah? It's so ironic. Extinction Rebellion and Black Lives Matter were the two organisations that were cited for the reason for the protest side of this bill, because of the way the anarchist behaviour when they've been out protesting. Now, that was ironic, Donna, because for me, they've been demonising so-called right-wing marches that I thought they would have slapped the name all over this to stop people protesting, but it wasn't.
If we go out and we peacefully protest, right, sure, the police set up on us. They go out looting, beating people up, setting fire to things, and they get away with it because, well, I just really don't understand why they get away with it.
I know. I got sent a lovely lady who was working with an MP. The MP's a Labour MP. That MP put a post up saying that they've just voted against the bill and the Conservatives have voted for the bill. It was your party that was instrumental in bringing that in the first place. Black Lives Matter was heavily funded by Labour in terms of the counter-protest that we've all seen and what they've played. They've been drumming that drum for a while.
It's always the working people who have to suffer, because all these nice middle-class people, these champagne socialists doing what they're doing in central London. A friend of mine has come on, he sent me a message saying, this has cost me 200 quid.
Skeena, have you got a TV?
He can't afford £200. It's the people at the bottom. And it's not, the working people always suffer because the police get dragged in. Now, all those officers are dragged in from all over London.
So they're not fighting knife crime as long as they're doing.
They're not fighting burglary, not doing drug dealing. So
how did you get here?
Your car picked me up.
You're in a car, OK.
Yes.
It's so in your face.
If you live on an awful council estate where crime is crime-ridden, you're losing those officers because they're dragged in to do this.
Skeena, which
have you got a TV?
Extinction Rebellion has got left-wing written all over it. The criminal damage they've been doing. And it's like...
Sticking the cells to roads outside Amazon buildings.
Exactly.
You only have to look at Insulate Britain. And the guy that was heading that was one of the biggest hypocrites going, because he didn't even have his house insulated.
Overall, people support measures to stop the rate acceleration of climate change. But have you got evidence that 2/3 of people support this action by Extinction Rebellion?
How did you get here?
Your car picked me up.
You're in a car, OK.
Yes.
Champagne socialist.
What are they doing? What are they doing there?
I don't know what that particular protester is doing, but
there's a whole
they
load
are
of them.
drawing attention. I think whatever we're doing is we're drawing attention to the planetary emergency
but they're actually
that we're in.
But hang on. They're just having a good old party. Look, they're having a good old rave, good old party. They're all dancing around, taking the day off work if they've got jobs.
Champagne socialist.
The hypocrisy is just so in your face.
And they're all doing this, having a great time, whilst causing massive disruption to Londoners. I don't know what they're doing. I don't hear any protests. I just hear people having a great old party.
There have been nearly 600 arrests, so we are definitely engaging in mass, peaceful, non-violent civil disobedience.
Why are they being arrested if they're being so peaceful?
You've taken one clip, Piers, with all due respect.
It's so in your face.
Yeah.
You've taken one clip. There are some really...
Well, let me show you another clip. Skeena, have you got a TV? Let me show you another clip. How did you get here?
Your car picked me up.
You're in a car, OK.
Yes. You're being very selective.
Yes, I am. Yeah, so are you.
As we've seen, I've got to say, Donna, I don't know how many marches you've been to, but I've been up and down the country, right? There might have been the odd fruity character at a march. I'll confess to that and say, right, all right. But there's never been an excessive amount of violence that I've ever seen on the level of Black Lives Matter and Extinction Rebellion. Not against each other or the police, not unless something was provoked.
Normally by the police.
Yeah. But I've seen bottles being thrown, and I think, you know what? Whether it was contrived to do this to everyone, or whether this just ended up fucking up and happening that is going to now ruin it for everyone. A lot of good people who want to protest over what is going on now, if they don't get engaged in this bill, or at least the curtailment of it, talk about it, how it's going to affect you, because 5 years' time, when they change the price of something, or the price of petrol, diesel goes that far.
That's if we've got any in 5 years' time.
Thank you, Donna.
I actually had an argument with someone the other day on a Facebook post, because it was on about the price of fuel, because I'd found a fuel station at 171.9 for diesel. Right. And I got basically told that I was fearmongering and I was lying. And I was like, well, why am I lying? And it was like, well, who fills up at service stations anyway? 90% of the truckers on the road. And then it was like, do you not realise that the more this goes up, the more the price is going to be put on your plate? So the price of living is going to skyrocket as well as fuel. It's called the domino effect. Any normal sane person understands the domino effect. And just if the fuel goes up, but there's still people out there that don't believe for 1 minute that their food's going to go up if the diesel goes up. And I'm thinking, are you really that dense that you don't understand that domino effect? I was called everything from a liar, a scaremonger and everything. And I'm like, whatever, mate, have a nice night. In fact, just have a nice life and stay out of mine. You know what I mean? I was just thinking, these are the type of people I actually feel sorry for.
It is sad.
They're that dense, they can't understand it.
But they must be able to feel it, because they know now, pretty much pick any product you want. Over the past 2 years, the increase on it, not only in the tax, but just the increase of the products, and the fact that probably at the same time, the product's shrinking. You get the same box, but the actual
less. That big.
You know, people are seeing it. And it's like, what's up with you? Is this not important to talk about this now? And with this pandemic now, the amount of people that have creamed and made money off the back of this pandemic, to the point now where you have got scarcity with products, and now they've hiked up prices, as well as people losing jobs. Things are getting hard. I mean, we all want to live a positive life, and we do. We vibrate good energy and we look after our own and whatnot. But you've got to have one eye on what's going on around you. Haven't you, Donna?
Oh, you've got to have eyes in the back of your head these days.
Perplexes me. I guess this pandemic exposed it for me more than how I felt before. Is that how you feel? Yeah,
I do, because it's just proven how much control the government have that they shouldn't really have. We're free people to do what we're not robots. We're not animals in cages. But over the last 2 years, the government have shown exactly what they can do to manipulate the people. And it's caused further division on top of everything else, like the division with the grooming gangs, division with COVID. Everything eventually causes some sort of division, and their plan is to divide and conquer. And at the minute, they're succeeding, because people can't get it clicked into their heads that back to the unity thing, that they need to work together. Quit with the egos, get out there, fight as one, and let's get our country back properly, because otherwise our children aren't going to have a country. Well, they'll have a country, but they're not going to have much of a future.
What with fuel prices like that, I get people for wanting to bury the head. I get it. I want to go back to tasting that steak. But you know what? Life is good, even if you can't taste the steak anymore. It's actually more satisfying being on this side of the fence, even though it doesn't appear to be. You can actually instrument your life to tailor to what you can see around you, so you can navigate a lot of it if you're aware enough and do your due diligence with research. With people here, do you think that they're worried? Is it their own employment? Is it their own? Because I know we've seen it global with this. You're talking about what's been exposed here, and it's not just one anomaly or anomalous government that's just done a stupid thing over this pandemic, whatever you want to call. It's multiple governments worldwide that have made that power move big time, openly clear. The World Economic Forum has told us
you will own nothing and be happy.
Yes. So that direction should work in line with when you go into the supermarket, when you're now going and everything has to be digital now. No one wants to touch everything because we've all been nudged to that way of thinking. So the digital future is more of a reality now than it ever was. And also everything costing you more money. So is not the World Economic Forum's plan already taking place? Small business dying,
because
growing.
Yeah, you only have to look at what Trudeau did to the Canadian truckers, where he switched everything. He switched everything off. He's shut down bank accounts. He's frozen assets and everything else. Took people's trucks off them. It's just showing you just how much control they want. This is not about the people. This is about control. It's not about our health. It's about control. And every single government are doing the same. If they can freeze your bank account and your assets just like that, and they want to cancel cash, if you don't behave yourself, they're going to freeze your bank account and you're going to starve to death just because you think different. But people can't seem to get that up here.
Well, that's the message. These laws were designed for terrorists, for terrorism. So if you're then going to enact that on domestic citizens that are not terrorists but protesting, they've not got arms, they don't want to kill anyone in the government. They're probably not even talking about, maybe some about a complete overhaul of the government, but I don't see a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's what it means.
So there's no reason to treat them like terrorists. Like you say, it's the terrorist element of this is freedom of thought, isn't it? That's it. And that's
you have to believe what the government tell you and what the BBC tell you, or you're naughty, so you're going to get told and you're going to get punished for it.
Yeah. Do you watch much TV now?
No, I avoid TV at all costs.
Yeah, I understand why. I understand why. We'll move over, Donna, to the London Freedom Camp, right? You're an activist currently now, and you've got this event going in London, which is about the bill.
Yeah, there is actually one that I've just seen advertised today as well, which means that they're coming on the... It looks like they're going to be gathering on the 8th, which is something to do with the original convoy. So hopefully we'll be able to unite. And I say fair play to them. I'm not one of them that'll go, oh, well, I planned this. You can't do that. I'm saying fair play. The more down there, the bloody merrier. We need to be there. Work together. Let's get there. Let's go and have a good camp out outside Scotland Yard and show them how pissed off we really are.
So what's the overall plan?
It was something I just thought, right, we need to think outside the box again because of the way the truckers are in this country, and we needed to get it out in time for them to get time off work. But because when the convoys went into London the first time, the one that we did with the first convoys, they stopped them going into London, so a lot of them didn't make it into London. So the plan was, we get down, it actually says the 6th, because we don't know if we're going to be there late on the 6th or early hours of the 7th. So I put the 6th, we just filter in on our own, no banners, no nothing, because as soon as they see the banners, they're going to turn you back round again. It's going to be like, oh, they're there for no good, we'll get rid of them before they manage to get into the middle, we can't be doing with this, do you know what I mean? So we get into near Scotland Yard, get set up, then get your banners out, get your stickers on, whatever you need to do. Camp out on the 7th, get to meet people, treat people like with respect and actually get to know people, smile and talk to people, and do you know what I mean? Listen to other people's stories. Then on the 8th, when they're about to finish the respondent part of the bill, we go through to Parliament and we let them know just how annoyed we are. No violence, none of this drinking and getting pissed. It's not a day out on the piss, it's a day out to protect our country and our children's futures, right? We go to Parliament, then back to camp at late afternoon, and then 3 o'clock on the 9th, we'll then do an exit lap of the M25 at whatever speed people think it's adequate to do it. We'll make it bold. It'll be a statement. We've caused no trouble, and we do it that way because that's the only way that we can do it in this country without getting ourselves into trouble and without truckers losing their licenses and without operators losing theirs.
Yeah. No, it's very noble. How many truckers currently are proposing to come, have agreed to come?
To be fair, I haven't chased up on numbers because it's one of them where it's got to the point in my life where I'm like, if you turn up, and I'll see you there. Fair play, respect to you. But I'm not going to go chasing numbers because, again, it's like, it'd be like I'm asking for clicks if I'm looking for numbers. And I'm not that. I don't want a big following. I just want people to listen and use their common sense before it's too late. That is it.
Yeah.
And meet some new friends on the way.
Well, you're doing that anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
People will be inspired by your strength and your courage doing this. Just, the fact that you're selfless as well.
I don't want to be popular, mate. I don't want to be popular. I just want to get on with my life. And yeah, I'll meet new people on the way. And I want to do things for the charity. But I want people to actually sit up and think, you know what? She's got a point. We don't need someone to follow. We do need to do this together. Well, we can still have a good time around the camp on a night. Just don't be getting pissed and letting the mainstream get pictures of you so they can label us as right-wing bigots like they normally do. Do it properly, do it with bold statements, and do it where if they're going to stop us getting into London, we'll get into London separately, camp out, and then we'll do the M25 at 3 o'clock on the 9th. By the time we get round there, we're going to have caused enough of a bold statement without all that violence and without the mainstream going, me. It's an outside the box technique because we can't do it like Canada and we can't do it like America.
No, but what you can do, and we do anyway, you look at marches and you look at demonstrations worldwide when they go on, and we see what works. Like you, I've been sent a lot of stuff about Australia, and initially when they were doing the trucking, but now, particularly now, we're talking about Canada. The positivity, the strength, you're not getting any larking about. People are there seriously for a point. They're there for each other. They're even cooking food, like barbecues laid out to cook for as many people that can eat there on the day.
We've got an inverter in our vans, right? So I've said that whichever van we go in, we'll make sure we've got a microwave in there.
Yeah.
So if some have got children with them. We can put some microwave milk. We'll even help the adults. Do you know what I mean? Right. We'll have I can even take my barbecue that's in my other van.
Yeah.
We've got means of cooking. I can even take my gas stove. There's ways of doing things. I even did the surviving without a portaloo or surviving without a toilet on another video. Because people were like, but we need portaloos and we need this. No, you don't. There are ways and means around it. If we had to go and live off-grid, there are ways and means that you would have to do it there and then. Do you know what I mean? But there are ways to do it without needing a portaloo or finding the local toilet. Because people were panicking about toilets, of all things. Mind you, after the bloody bog roll shortage, I'm not surprised, to be fair, but...
Honestly, what you're saying, you're trying to say, listen, let's just work through this. If we do discover a bump in the road, let's see how we can work round it rather than focus on it and think, well, nothing can actually move forward, because we can work round it. And
it's only 3 days. It's not for the rest of their lives. It's for 3 days. Simple survival techniques for 3 days to get our freedom and our country back for our children. That is it. It's 3 days. It's no time at all.
When you say it like that, Donna, you know, how can anyone argue with that? You know what I mean?
You need a bucket, some carrier bags, some good baby wipes, and I recycle my Lucozade bottles. There you go. That's all you need.
I'll tell you what, the reason why I want to get in a portaloo while near our Donna, because all of a sudden Donna straps a harness on and starts pulling the portaloo like 300 yards down the street. I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Slushing all over the place in there. That's
if you can get portaloos, if someone can get portaloos there, then fine. But if we can't get portaloos there, we're going to have to survive the good old ways. You know what I mean? But you don't have to be messy with it. Yeah. Don't be leaving your mess hanging around either, so that there's something else the media can pick up and go, oh, look at these scruffy bastards and what they've like. Well, they tried it in Canada. They actually sent some left wing out and started spray painting trucks and emptying rubbish bags all over the floor to try and make it look like the truckers were being the scruffy bastards, and it weren't them, it was paid left wing again.
Well, like you say, they were just there to demonise, you know, because the truckers, this is why this law's come in. That movement gained so much traction, not only in Canada, but around the world very quickly.
Yeah.
People gain sympathy for that plight, as they should do with any march that goes on. But there was something that really hit very quickly and concisely with the Canada thing. And even now it's still going on, but you wouldn't hear about it. So I guess from the politicians' element, they were scared shitless.
Yeah. And then look what Trudeau did.
And look, that reaction tells you how scared they was. They've deemed them as terrorists. For God's sake, that has exposed how with some of the truck drivers in Canada, they even threatened to take the dogs, and if they couldn't collect the dogs because it was animal abuse, they was going to put the dogs down to try and remove the truckers. All kinds of techniques. This means that they've lost the battle, doesn't it, Donna, when they're doing this, really, in the psyche. But listen, let's get back to your video. It's... at the beginning, and guys, if you can make it, I know it's going to be difficult because of the day of the week and whatnot, but if you can make it, it's a massive cause. If you can't make it, I guess share, like, support, whatever you can.
Just reply to the response sheet on the website. If you respond before the 8th, just tell them you don't want this. Why fix something if it's not broken? And at the end of the day, this is going to affect everyone. It's like I was telling you about how I believe, and how I've explained to the kids how the country works, where it's like the human body, where you've got your heart, even though it's a dark black heart at the minute. That's the heart's supposed to be the government, the people that work for us, and supposed to keep us safe. Then you've got your lungs at the NHS, your brain, other places. But without the veins and without the arteries pumping that blood through, which are the truck drivers, it doesn't work. It is that simple. We've got to work together.
The amount of products that I'm around here now that's involved a truck driver. My daily shopping involves a truck driver. So, certainly. Even
down to bits for your bicycle.
Yeah. And that's without sight. Like I mean, sites around the country would not, paint. I wouldn't get that delivered. The amount of trucks that's involved. So, it's an industry that is overlooked and probably demonized because of the size of the things on the road. And we spoke about that, the kind of the different attitude between cars, cycles, and trucks. They've all got different attitudes towards one another, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let's get onto this video because people should see this. So this is Donna's channel, Woman on a Mission. I've got the link there. I'll put it in the actual chat any second now. Follow this lady.
What?
She's on YouTube and you're on Facebook.
You said lady.
What was that?
I said you said lady.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Oh, shit.
Purging mankind, creator of discord, spreader of lies, selective of who he lets live or die, caressing the mighty, wielding the sword, with cuts biting deeply, only into the poor. He crafts his vengeance like works of art, slowly tearing this land apart. The greatness is coming, it's walking the streets, shuffling along slowly, the enemy of the weak. Traveling so far in hot barren lands, he holds the fallen in necrotic hands. Emotionless face that's always the same, no pity or thought while causing pain. Sounds of breathing hang in the air. There's no hope, there is only despair. No solace, no sanctuary remain, no conscience or expression of shame. The greatness is coming, it's walking the streets, shuffling along slowly, the enemy of the In a hidden corner on a distant shore, the murmur is growing and speaking of war. The march of destruction must come to an end, a rising of people together again. It's hard to believe that the tide can be turned, that growth can come from a land that's been burned. These are dark days that we've been through. It'll be a cold day in hell before God forgives you. The greatness is coming, it's walking the streets, shuffling along slowly, the enemy of the weak. see you on the 9th day beneath the sunshine, as the sound of birdsong shakes the slumber from our eyes. I will see you on the 9th day at the breaking of the dawn, where the sea meets the land, when the storm gives way to calm. And gentle breeze blows as we bury our dead, stirring old memories of words once said. Winter thawed and death passed us by. No time for sadness, no more tears to cry. Rise, rise, breathe once again and come to life. Rise, rise, as the light reaches the sky. Rise, rise, breathe once again and come to life. Rise, rise, and open up your eyes. I will see you on the 9th day beneath the sunshine, and the sound of birdsong shakes the slumber from our eyes. I will see you on the 9th day in our new heaven, where the sinners are saved, transgressions forgiven. The wars are over and the fighting is done. The bloodshed
That's very moving, that, Donna.
I've been told by a few people that, because I can, when I start speaking on videos, when I try doing my own videos, sometimes I start sounding like a sloth. So I needed to get the point across. I just found that them two particular songs, especially with us planning the convoy out of London for the 9th, it just seemed very fitting and they're very powerful when you actually listen to the words and how certain people being played. To me, it just felt so right to put that video together that way, and that's how it's. And I felt a little bit big-headed after I'd done it, because I do feel it is my best video I've done yet. So, but it's for the right cause as well.
Who's the music by? Because I know you gave a video, didn't you?
A lady called Coburg. She's actually classed as a one-woman band. She's got her own band now for doing circuit work, because obviously it's a bit hard jumping from instrument to instrument, or she'd have to have all backing music, do you know what I mean? But the lady's called Coburg, absolutely fantastic singer, and the songs, she writes the songs, she does the music and everything herself, and absolutely, I tell you, she's the one person. It's been a long time since I've had a piece of music recharge me first thing in the morning, and for someone that can't have caffeine in the morning, I need that recharge, or the defrag, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, she's brilliant. She should have hit the charts by now, but she hasn't, you know, and it's quite upsetting seeing someone working as hard as she does, and she's not made it in the charts yet. So yeah, if you support her, and
you can't hear that in the music. She's just clearly talented and just pumps out her own personal stuff from the heart anyway, regardless.
There's a song she does called Strike Back, and whenever I'm feeling a bit low, I listen to that, and that kicks me right up the arse. And she does that. It's a stripped version where it's just there in the piano, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Well, it certainly lent well to the cause anyway, without a doubt.
It's like it was written for this particular moment in time, if you get what I mean. It's a bit strange, the way the words are.
You know, when I looked at that video, and it's got the trucking element, trucking theme, and I know there'll be an element of concern as to whether people are going to emotionally engage with this, because like you've said, people are showing probably a bit of a selfish streak in not supporting everything that's talking about true freedom now, regardless of whether you're a trucker or whether you've got anyone who's a trucker in your family. All the points that you raise within this video, consequentially, we are all suffering from. We've been slapped. The Overton window has been literally rebuilt over the past 3 years right in front of all of us with all these fundamental changes. So I can't, and I fail to understand, when going back to what you said before, being called a scaremonger, where that mentality, why they've got this cognitive dissonance, because you don't need to be a trucker. You don't need to be a nurse. You don't need to be just someone who wants to go on holiday. These are things that we're losing drip by drip by drip.
Yeah, it affects us all. It just happens to be that because it's the truckers that are such a big part of any country, because obviously we need those truckers. They started it off in the likes of Canada and Australia and places like that. So obviously they become distant because they thought, well, our truckers don't care. It's not the fact that they don't care. They can't use their trucks without massive consequence. And they'd soon be moaning if they didn't have food on the bloody tables. Do you know what I mean? So we have to do it another way. And you can be a trucker, a nurse, a cook, whatever, but just get there and support your country. There'll still be plenty of truckers there. We just won't have the big arms and stuff because we can't have the trucks there.
It's not about who can do the biggest and best either, is it? You know, the support, that may grow in different elements anyway. And even with a lot of my workmates are talking about clean air taxes that are looming over people's heads now. It's coming in on all angles. I mean, the working class are getting beat down, never mind on a racial level, on every level if they want to achieve something in life. So it's not a negative here because we're all positive. We're all looking at it, acknowledging it, and trying to drum up a bit of support, at least to say, yo, guys, can you not see this is happening around us? You know?
Yeah. You see sarky little comments about that. I've seen them in the past where it's like, well, you're just a cleaner. Hang on a minute, a cleaner is just as important as any other job. If anything, over the last 2 years, whether you believe it or not, probably more important than most jobs. Everyone serves a purpose in life, right? We all need to support each other, and we all need to make sure that we keep them freedoms. And at the minute, there's too many people arguing that they're better than the next person, or my friend's bigger than your friend, and it's got to stop.
What I see around me is people that are doing the best, trying to make ends meet, but visibly and physically they're seeing it like I do. Things are changing, things are getting harder for them. We're all trying to keep full, we all try and do what we do in that time. At the same time, we're witnessing contradiction, hypocrisy, cronyism, you call it what you want. Forms of communism, as in mass virtue signaling like I have never seen before in my life. I guess being too opinionated can be a little bit painful at times, Donna?
Yeah.
Because people just don't see it at times.
But it's like, just look at like a single parent family where they're trying to work 2 jobs to keep food on the kids' table and make sure they've got presents on their birthdays and they've got holidays. And the price of living's going up, and they're going to end up joining the rest of them on the poverty line.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have got that attitude, well, if it don't affect me, I don't care. And it's like, that is really not the attitude to have, because eventually it's going to affect you. And then it's possibly going to be too late.
How can anyone escape what's going on now? How can anyone say that their shopping bill was the same as it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Well, it's not. A loaf of bread's doubled in price.
You know, so you're being hit. Who's to say now with your bills, all the stories that are coming out, everything is hiking up. So, yeah, I was reading today that a stamp's going up 10 pence. A stamp.
I've never known it go up 10 pence in one jump. That's shocking.
I'm telling you, 95p. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Jesus, I do the email and texting and stuff, but
everywhere. You just need to look at gas and electric, 54%. Where the hell did they get them numbers from?
Yeah, it's amazing. So it should be clarifying with people that if you don't start getting engaging, like I say, simultaneously at the side of this, you've got to kill the bill. A bill where they actively want you to stop protesting. So if you decide all of a sudden that, 95p's out of order, they hike up the TV license if you're that way inclined on getting it, whatever. And then come at you just because you want to organise something and deem you as a tenant. We've got to look at the window of the world that's going on. And I'm amazed, Donna. I'm really amazed. But you know what? It does give me a lot of solace listening to people like you, because you try to do your fight from your angle at your part of the world.
Well, that's why I respect what you do as well, because you've actually been more vocal for a lot longer than I have. But do you know what I mean? And I respect everything you do. I think you're absolutely fantastic when you get out there on the demos. And keep doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to do demos more. It's having the energy and the money to do it. That's the problem I've got. Yeah,
it's more the travelling and getting down there, and that's why we stopped doing obviously this one's in London, but this is for like something massive, so we've decided we need to do it in London. But I'm trying to keep more local, because if we support, like with local shop, I know it sounds daft, with local shops, instead of these big corporations, support your local butchers, support your local veg shop, keep them going, keep your farmers paid and stuff like that, right? So we decided that we was going to stay more local and support the local protests. But obviously this one, it needs to be done where it's getting done. So we can go to Parliament on the 8th, and then we'll convoy out on the 9th. But for anyone that can't make the full 3 days, even if you can get there on the 8th, to get to Parliament, to let them know, listen, you give them this. No violence, just give them that. And let them know we're not prepared to be like locked down at like a click of a finger like that. Because that's another thing that's coming. We want freedom. We was born free. We die free.
We're losing it. Big time, we're losing it. If people specifically wanted more details or a place to go to get more information, where would they go? Is it your Facebook or?
All the information, because obviously when we're driving, I can't get a lot of videos out, so all the information is there. We'll be there from either late on the 6th, early hours on the 7th, and we'll just all meet there. But it's basically what it says in the video. We'll be there, then we'll be going to Parliament on the 8th and coming back to camp late on the afternoon, and then we'll be convoying out at 3 o'clock on the 9th. And that is basic. We don't need all this mass planning. We just need to see something, go, yes, we're going. It's like there's posters going around at the minute where they're on about convoying in. So if you want to join them, fine. The more the merrier. If we can get them all into London, the more the merrier. I'm not one of these that'll go, well, I planned this first. No, we're actually working. There might be different teams working, but we're working at the same thing. So work together as well and give them all the encouragement they need.
You know, the silly thing is, Donna, you know how powerful that can be. If you've got many people in different places all on the same idea and not one of them has got an ego between them, they just all want to help each other.
Exactly.
Imagine how powerful that is, rather than each one of them thinking, oh, well, she's saying that or he's saying that, and just, you know, doing all this and splitting off into different
encouragement for unity, not slagging people off and causing more division. They've got very similar ideas where they're going to be coming into London. And they're advertising it now. And I think great, because that means there's going to be even more people getting there, even though it's not from my video. This is from other people doing the work. I'm not taking the credit for that. That's them that's done that work. And I hope I meet these people when we're there. We work together. The more people doing it, the more there's going to be there and the more unity there's going to be and the more chance we've got of success.
Stay blessed. Thank you for being on. Thank you for your time. Give a big
thank you for having me.
Oh, honestly, give a big thanks to Dave and your mum as well, the family. And no doubt.
Mum, say bye to Phil.
Yes, Mum. Yes, Mum. Thank you. You take care. Have a great weekend.
And you, mate. Thank you ever so much.
No,
and hopefully I'll see some of the guys that have been watching down there. Love to you all and respect.
Definitely. I'll do everything I can to support what you're doing. Best of luck with it moving forward.
Thank you.
All right. You take care.
And you.
See you now. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Yes. Well, big up to Donna Proctor. She's going through so much, and look what she's all about. Look what she means. Look what her integrity is all about. Very much in check, and I'm proud. I'm proud. Yes, Dollar. Hi to Dollar. Hi to Big Wiz. Hi to Angel and everyone else that's been watching here. Whatever you're doing tonight, be safe. Have a brilliant time. And remember who you are. You're free. Ultranateism exists on this channel, guys. You have a fantastic weekend, and we shall reconvene very, very soon. I love you all, even the pissing haters.
I love you. 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 I love you.
Even the pissing haters.
I love you. 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 I love you.